Hello and welcome. Today we're diving deep into something we've all felt, human connection. But we're going all the way across the spectrum, from that instant click you feel with someone, all the way to the age-old idea of telepathy. We're going to look at the hard science, the stuff that's still up for debate, and even how new tech is turning sci-fi into, well, reality.
Now, just so you know, this whole explainer is a special re-edit. It's based on an awesome conversation from the Sip&Talk podcast, and it's all brought to you by our sponsor, Micky. We've pulled out all the juicy highlights for you, so let's jump right in. You know that feeling, right? When you're talking to someone and you just finish each other's sentences? Or maybe you think of an old friend and bam, they call you out of the blue. It's that incredible, unspoken connection where you feel like someone just totally gets you.
So what's really going on there? Is it just a super strong psychological bond, what scientists call rapport, or just maybe is it a little peek into something more, something like actual telepathy? That's the big question we're going to unpack today.
Okay, first things first. Let's start on solid ground with what science can actually prove. There is a real, measurable science behind that feeling of being perfectly in sync with another person. Let's look at the science of rapport.
And this is just so cool. Scientists can literally see this connection happening inside our brains. Using brain scans, they've actually measured how much our brainwaves sync up. And look at this. Close friends hit a sync rate of over 78%. Strangers, only 45%. So that old saying about being on the same wavelength? Yeah, it's not just a saying, it's real.
So how does our body pull this off? Well, it's a whole cocktail of amazing biological tricks. We've got these things called mirror neurons that fire up to help us feel empathy, kind of like we're experiencing what the other person is. Then, like we just saw, our brainwaves can literally start dancing in time together, and it gets even wilder. Our heart rates can actually synchronize too. It's a full body thing.
Okay, so rapport is scientifically solid. We get it. But what happens when that connection feels like it goes beyond just body language and into pure thought? Well, that leads us to a much more controversial question. Is telepathy actually real?
And right here, we walk right into a huge debate. On one side, you have mainstream science, which has a super high standard of proof. For something to be real, you have to be able to repeat the results over and over under strict lab conditions. But on the other side, you have parapsychology, the field that studies all this fringe stuff. And they argue that, hey, maybe consciousness doesn't always play by the normal rules.
And nothing shows this conflict better than the famous Ganzfeld experiment. The setup was simple. A sender would try to mentally beam an image to a receiver. If it was just random luck, you'd expect the receiver to guess right about 25% of the time. But what they found was an observed hit rate of 32%. I mean, statistically, that's significant. But, and this is the killer, other scientists in other labs just couldn't get the same results consistently. And that's why mainstream science is still giving it the side eye.
But hold on, because this is where the story takes a crazy futuristic turn. While everyone's arguing about whether natural telepathy is real, technology is just stepping in and building it. We are officially entering the era of artificial telepathy.
And no, this isn't from a movie. This really happened. In a wild study back in 2014, scientists made it work. Check this out. They recorded the brain signal for a word in India, turned that signal into digital code, and then zipped it over the internet to France. Over there, a machine stimulated the receiver's brain, causing them to see flashes of light that spelled out the original word. That was it, the first ever real brain-to-brain message sent across the world.
So, let's be super clear here. This isn't magic, it's just physics. The scientists doing this work have a name for it, hyperinteraction. It's basically a new way to communicate using stuff we can measure, like electromagnetism. It's not a psychic power, it's a technological one.
What's so amazing is that this huge technological jump is basically making one of our oldest human dreams come true. The idea of a direct mind-to-mind link isn't some new sci-fi concept. It's been woven into our myths and legends for centuries.
I mean, just think about the Greek myth of Cassandra, who could see the future but was cursed so that nobody would ever believe her. Or that beautiful Chinese story of the musician Bo Ya, whose friend could understand his deepest thoughts just by listening to him play. You even have stories of poets in the Tang Dynasty who supposedly had the exact same dream on the same night, even though they were miles apart. The dream of connection is absolutely timeless.
So wow, we've gone from the biology of rapport to the controversy around parapsychology and all the way into the high-tech future of artificial telepathy. Let's try to pull all these threads together. This really breaks it down nicely. On one hand, you've got rapport, Its basis is psychology and biology. It's real and we're starting to understand it. Then you've got artificial telepathy. Its basis is technology, and it's being built as we speak. And finally, you have what you could call supernatural telepathy, which, by scientific standards, is still unproven. 3 totally different roads leading to a very similar idea.
And that leads us to the big, final question I want to leave you with. As this technology gets more and more powerful, we really have to ask ourselves, if we could all share our thoughts directly, with no filter, would the world be a better place? Would it create perfect empathy? Or would it be the end of privacy as we know it? Definitely something to think about.
We had a blast putting this analysis together, and it all stemmed from that great conversation on Sip&Talk. If you want more deep dives like this, you should totally subscribe to their full podcast. And definitely check out our sponsor, Micky's channel. We've put the links for both of them for you right down in the description.
Thank you so much for watching.